A post is going viral after a MAGA mom who's on SNAP benefits called out her family for not lending her money for groceries. In this Facebook post, this mom said that her husband is on the GI Bill and she has 2 kids. She continues by saying she's at her wit's end and she's overwhelmed and doesn't know what to do. She said that she asked her husband's mom, and the mom responded with, "You voted for this."
Y'all, in today's episode of As the White Hood Turns, have you seen that viral video going around of that MAGA voter who is mad that her family won't lend her money for groceries because they done cut off her SNAP benefits? Now, I love a good MAGA fuck around and find out. I love it. I love this for them. But what makes this even better is that there are also videos and pictures circulating of the Halloween party that Syphilitic Sid threw last night. But he don't give a damn that the people out here ain't got no food. They ain't got no benefits. I promise you, they woke up this morning to that notification that their SNAP benefits had been suspended. Now this lady out here begging her family, and she went off on her mother-in-law because her mother-in-law refused to lend her money to buy groceries. Her mother-in-law told her, "Too bad, so sad. You voted for this. Figure it out." But this just goes back to they thought only black and brown people would suffer.
This is a funny story. Like, oh my goodness. Literally, people, I want to know, what would you do? Like, seriously, what would you do? Is this something, like, would you hold it against a person? I think I would. I'm not gonna lie, I think I would. Like, and everybody voted for Trump. This is y'all demise.
Hell hath no fury like a MAGA mom that can't feed her kids, and that is coming, so stay tuned. Yes, if you have been following the news today, you know that as of November 1st, there is no more money for SNAP benefits. And that is going to be a problem for Donald Trump. That's going to be a problem for Republicans writ large. Because I don't think they know who their voters are. Because of the 10 states that received the most money in SNAP benefits, 7 of them voted for Donald Trump. And 60% of SNAP recipients live in a county that Donald Trump won. So those numbers, not great for Republicans. Because polling is showing that most Americans, about 73% of them, are largely putting the shutdown on the shoulders of Republicans. Now, Donald Trump is somehow staying immune from this, but Republicans, especially in Congress, well, not so much them. Add to that the fact that 78% of American voters, including 56% of Republican voters, support extending those subsidies. So, like, those are not great numbers for Republicans. An additional little hiccup to that, about 54% of the people whose health insurance premiums will double or triple also live in districts that Donald Trump won. Put all of that together, and what does it say? It means that the people very specifically who voted for Donald Trump are about to be very specifically harmed by Donald Trump. And then another fun fact, as of November 1st, there's no more money to pay active duty military members. But as of November 1st, there's no more money to even play with. There's nothing they can even do. They are flat out of money, including out of money for SNAP benefits. Many states are already sending out warnings to people and recipients of SNAP benefits that there's no money come November 1st. You can't feed your kids anymore because the government is shut down.
Going viral after a MAGA mom who's on SNAP benefits called out her family for not lending her money for groceries. In this Facebook post, this mom said that her husband is on the GI Bill and she has 2 kids. She continues by saying she's at her wit's end and she's overwhelmed and doesn't know what to do. She said that she asked her husband's mom, and the mom responded with, "You voted for this."
Hello guys, and welcome to the Joy Report, where we get an outsider's view with an insider's clarity. This MAGA mom was furious. Her Facebook post says it all. Her SNAP benefits were gone, and the small government she cheered for had finally shown its teeth. The government shutdown she once called a stand for American values was now cutting off her own food assistance. The same politicians she praised for fighting the establishment had just pulled the rug out from under her. Before we proceed, all credit goes to the creators of these videos. If you're interested in their ads, they're all listed in the description box, but for now, let's watch a few more clips and I'll be back with more commentary.
You know, I myself am guilty of being one of those people who keep saying, well, this new thing happened. Is MAGA gonna get it yet? Are the Republican voters finally gonna wake up and see what they're stepping in? And while a few of them do seem to trickle away as time goes by, the majority of them just keep making excuses. The most recent thing is with these SNAP benefits that Trump is taking away from people. He told the Republicans not to negotiate with Democrats. So the Republicans let the government shut down on purpose so Trump could continue cutting a bunch of benefits and firing thousands of people pretty much with no consequence. But now we simultaneously have people on the right who are making videos going, oh no, all these people can't get you free money, oh no. And the other half going, where are my food stamps? We keep talking about the snake eating its own tail, but it's more like a hydra with tons of heads where they each keep trying to eat each other. But it is still so funny to me that when Trump takes away benefits from poor people, the poor people will still support him and other billionaires. Just like when Trump takes away their Social Security and their Medicare, they make excuses for him and then they go, why are the Democrats taking away my Medicare? It's just like the ones who are always complaining about the government and people getting handouts are always the ones complaining that they haven't gotten their Social Security check yet. And yet every single time the Republicans screw these people over, they continue to vote them back into office. And I will never understand that.
Across the country, millions of Americans are feeling the same sting. SNAP benefits gone, federal checks delayed, and safety net programs frozen, all while the people responsible for the shutdown still collect their pay. It's a brutal reminder that political slogans don't pay bills. This is what happens when people vote for leaders who campaign on the promise to shrink government. Because when they shrink government, they shrink the very programs working families rely on to survive. Cutting big government sounds good on TV until it's your benefits, your job, or your family that gets cut next. The MAGA mom's outrage isn't unique. It's just the latest chapter in a pattern we've seen play out for years. Time after time, voters are told that fiscal responsibility means slashing social programs, that freedom means deregulation, and that patriotism means voting red no matter what. But when the consequences hit, it's the same working class people, not the billionaires, not the lobbyists, who suffer fast. And let's be clear, the politicians causing this mess aren't hurting. They have enough money to keep surviving until their next paycheck. Their kids aren't missing meals. It's the regular people, grocery clerks, single parents, veterans and retirees who pay the price for political games. For years, Republican leaders have painted government assistance as a weakness. They've told voters that handouts create laziness and dependency. But the truth is, programs like SNAP, Medicaid, and unemployment aren't luxuries. They're lifelines. They're what stand between millions of Americans and complete collapse when the economy falters or a shutdown hits. Yet somehow, those same programs are always the first on the chopping block. Why? Because cutting help for the poor is easy when you can convince them to cheer for their own pain. When you can convince struggling families that the real enemy isn't corporate greed or tax loopholes, it's their neighbor getting food stamps. And that's how the MAGA movement trapped so many hardworking Americans. It wasn't about lifting people up. It was about pitting them against one another. It told middle and lower income voters that government help was the problem, that compassion was weakness, and that the rich would eventually trickle down the success. But here we are, trickled on, not trickled to. Look at the record. Every shutdown, every budget fight, every debt ceiling crisis is the same story. Republicans push austerity, threaten government services, and then blame Democrats for the fallout. Meanwhile, families lose benefits, workers lose paychecks, and the entire economy slows down. And still, some voters keep falling for it. They keep voting red, believing they're standing up for freedom, when in reality, they're voting away their own protections. Let's talk about who benefits. Corporate donors, billionaires, politicians who use cultural outrage to distract voters from the fact that they're looting the country. They'll rant about immigrants, drag queens, or woke schools, while quietly voting to cut healthcare, food assistance, and public education funding. It's a distraction, and it works, because while people argue online about social issues, the real robbery happens in plain sight. Tax cuts for the ultra-rich, deregulation for polluters, subsidies for giant corporations, and all of it is sold under the banner of limited government. But limited for whom? Not for the Pentagon, not for corporate bailouts. Government only gets limited when it's time to help ordinary Americans. What's worse is that many of the states hit hardest by these shutdowns are red states, places that rely the most on federal aid. Rural hospitals, farm subsidies, disaster relief, and food programs all depend on the same federal funding the GOP threatens to cut. In other words, the people shouting government is the problem often live in communities kept alive by government programs. That's not freedom, that's self-sabotage. So now, when a MAGA mom loses her benefits, when she can't get food for her kids, when her family refuses to bail her out. It's not bad luck, it's policy. It's the direct result of voting for people who don't believe government should help anyone except the wealthy. And here's the harsh truth. You can't vote to destroy the system that feeds you and then be shocked when you go hungry. You can't champion politicians who promise to gut welfare, then cry betrayal when your snap gets cut. That's not bad fortune. That's cause and effect. At some point, voters need to connect the dots. The same movement that told them to hate big government is the reason they're now standing in food lines. The same party that preaches personal responsibility is the one shutting down the programs that keep families responsible and stable. It's time to stop voting based on slogans and start voting based on outcomes, because patriotism isn't about punishing yourself to own the libs. It's about building a country where everyone, regardless of party, can live with dignity. If America truly wants to be great again, it won't happen by getting the safety nets that hold the country together. It will happen when they realize that compassion, stability, and fairness are not liberal or conservative values. They are basic human ones. So the next time someone says, we need to cut government spending, ask them, whose spending are we cutting? Because it's never the defense contractors. It's never the millionaires. It's always the programs that help the poor, the working class, and the elderly survive. That's not fiscal conservatism. That's cruelty dressed up as policy. And then the bills come due. When the SNAP card stops working, when the rent goes unpaid, when the government shuts down, it's the same politicians smiling on TV, telling you to be patient while their donors count the profits. The MAGA mom story is just an example, but it's a powerful one. It's what happens when people are convinced to vote against their own interests again and again. And it's a warning, because if nothing changes, more families will face the same fate.
Hope your day gets better. Positive energy.
So what do you all think? Should her family help her? Or were they right to say, you voted for this? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video specifically tailored for you. And if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing, because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. Lastly, kindly consider joining my channel and I would really appreciate it. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, the Joy Report out.